I come to you today with the question, is there a dumber mainstream conservative voice than Candace Owens? Because I don't think there is. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and I'm sure that I'm going to get roasted for this. I'm going to get flamed for this. I'm going to lose subscribers. I'm going to have a lot of angry individuals in my comment section, despite the fact that I spend the vast majority of my videos just absolutely trash talking liberals in both the entertainment and the space in general. But you gotta be able to call out both sides, and if you conservatives are wondering why you lose, why you think, man, we're the party of common sense, we believe things like, men can't become women and women can't become men, it's so obvious. Yes, you're right, I agree. But I'm gonna need you to take a step back, except maybe, hey, now and again, folks are gonna have some dissenting opinions, something that'll make you call some stuff into question, specifically in regards to this moron right here. So we're gonna get into this. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, and nerdy news doesn't just mean pop culture. It also means things like science, mathematics, actual nerd culture before pop culture took over. And this is one of the dumbest things, and a long history of dumb things that Candace Owens has ever said. And she is a mainstream conservative voice when you want to talk about, people who consume media on both sides. And you're like, why are these leftists, or why are undecided voters voting for individuals on the left, voting for Democrats? It's because they hear mainstream conservative voices talking like this and then assume that is how they all believe. You guys might not know what I'm referring to. So let's take a look at this clip right here of Candace Owens claiming that science is a pagan religion.
No matter what, if there's a bunch of people that believe something, I now want to know what it is that they believe. And of course,
that is a fair statement. Right out the gate, she's coming off sounding fair, sounding nuanced. Hey, if a lot of people believe something, I want to know what it is they believe. I want to know why it is they believe it. You know what? That's good. Question everything. Ironically enough, that is a foundation for science, the thing that she's going to go on to denigrate.
Of course, he pushed me on this, and he was talking about the earth curvature and science, and I said to him, listen, I'm not a flat earther, I'm not a round earther.
I'm not a round earther? First of all, there's no goddamn thing as a round earther. The earth is round, we all know this. We have known this for literally thousands of years. It has been very common knowledge. Once something in outer space starts to get larger than about 4 miles in diameter, gravity will begin to crush it into a spherical state. But the idea that you're not a round earther is already insane because, again, mainstream voice in the conservative movement, something that people actually take seriously for whatever reason, but she makes it so much worse.
Actually, what I am somebody who has left the cult of science. I have left
the cult of science. Now, I get it. First of all, a lot of you can probably already type in, well, what about trust the science TM? What about the vaccine? What about all the science around COVID? No, stop. That wasn't real science. We all know that was not real science. That was political propaganda masquerading as science. These are people who are propping up the idea, a caricaturized version of science, not using the scientific method, not actually trying to understand what science itself really is. They were using a caricature of science to spread a political narrative, to line their pockets, to make themselves some money. That is not what I'm referring to when I say science, and we all know good goddamn well that's not what Candace Owens is referring to if she's going around making claims like how she is not a round earther, because last I checked, ain't nobody lining their pockets or winning elections or stealing elections based on whether the earth is a freaking sphere or not. And really it's closer to actually an egg shape, but that's neither here nor there.
The mega church of science. Because what I have now realized is that science, what it is actually, if you think about it, is a pagan faith. No matter what.
If you think about it, if you think about it, what is there to think about science that makes it a pagan faith? First of all, let me show you guys. Here is science. Here is the steps in the scientific method. You ask a question, which is what Candace Owens is doing. She is using the first step of the scientific method when she says, when somebody believes something, or a large swath of people, believe something, I want to find out what it is they believe. So she's already using step 1 of the scientific method She is asking the question, what is it you guys believe? Why is it you believe this? Numero dos, do background research. Oh, so then she goes on to use step 2 of the scientific method in her explanation for why she doesn't believe in science. Does background research. Then you construct a hypothesis. Now, the hypothesis that she has constructed is that apparently science is a pagan faith. Now, there is no way to test that with an experiment, which is the next step, which is, at this point, Candace can go no further, but you construct with a hypothesis. Then you test with an experiment. If you are unable to test with an experiment, if this is something that is physically impossible to test with an experiment, at that point, it can't become a law. It will end up being a theory forevermore, kind of like the theory of gravity. Even though we all know gravity is a thing, we all know it works, we all know it exists. There's no way to test a situation where gravity isn't there, because gravity is ever present. But again, you don't need a fucking 9th grade science lecture from your boy Leon. Again, I'm a real nerd, not just one of those, like, I like to play Magic the Gathering nerds. I also have extreme love for science, mathematics, actual things that, are core foundations to the way humans have grown and prospered over the course of our evolutionary existence. But however, we go on to, is the procedure working? Yes, no. From there, with the flow chart, we can take it back to an experiment. We can change some variables, analyze data and conclusions, results align with the hypothesis, or results align partially and not at all with the hypothesis, and then you communicate your results. This is science. Explain to me how this is anything to do with paganism. When you look at what paganism is, you got multiple definitions of it on Merriam-Webster. A person who practices a contemporary form of paganism. Okay, so fair enough. That means we would need to know what paganism is. So let's go to paganism. Spiritual beliefs and practices other than those of Judaism, Islam, especially Christianity. Hold on. Spiritual beliefs. Paganism, by definition, is a spiritual belief. There's nothing spiritual about science. We're talking about hard factual evidence. We're talking about physical observations, tests, things that we can prove in the real world. That is the polar opposite of spiritual. That is mind-blowing to me, and I'll bring it up often on this channel because it doesn't really matter. And in terms of all of my content is, at the end of the day, vast majority of the time, secular content. But I am a Christian individual. Again, that's also something that might lose me some subs. I might have had some liberals in here being like, yeah, look at this dude trashing the conservative. Now, hold on. This ain't for you either. I'm here to alienate all sides, apparently, because no, I am a Christian. What's amazing is Christianity and science can absolutely go hand in hand. That would be an entire different video. I've talked about this at length in my live stream when the conversation happens to come up, but the fact of the matter is, science is the polar opposite of spiritual beliefs, because one is physical, one is ethereal. Now, the two can work together, can coincide, can go hand in hand. Absolutely, you can absolutely make arguments for that, but that's not, in fact, Candace Owens should be doing that. She should be using science, the core foundations of the way that our universe works, and use that as her argument for her religion. That is something that Dr. William Lane Craig does all the time, which he is a master at. That is how you can have both science and God, for example, operating, the fine-tuning of the universe, if you accept the Big Bang Theory, how the Big Bang Theory came about, evolution. There's so many ways you can go about it, but that's neither here nor there. The spiritual beliefs and practices of ancient polytheistic religions, again, well, that doesn't match science whatsoever. The beliefs and practices of contemporary religions or spiritual movements based on ancient paganism. So none of these, absolutely none of these, fit the definition for what paganism is. So if you think about it, science is a pagan religion. And again, the only reason she's going on this is because she knows there's a bunch of dumb mouth breathers out there that got all upsetty spaghetti over COVID, understandably so, and how science was treated during COVID. Again, science that was bastardized. The fact that should not be called science. Call it what it is. Call it propaganda. What was going on during COVID was not science. What they're calling with gender transition surgeries and dudes cutting their cocks off to becoming women, that is not science. That is mutilation. That is, again, a bastardization of science. But if people want to claim that we consider the alt-right, if people on the right wing, you're just regular conservatives, regular Republicans, they consider the alt-right a bastardization of right-wing politics, because most people that are conservative or most people that are Republican, they don't agree with racism. They don't agree with white dudes going out there and stringing up black folks. They don't agree with black people hating all white people simply for the color of their skin. No, most regular Republicans, most regular conservatives, most regular lefties, most regular Democrats, most regular people people are vehemently against racism, for example. So when you have a political party that comes out very, very pro-racism, you would say that that is what? A bastardization of that political party. Just like how what we are experiencing right now is a bastardization of science when it comes to things like gender ideology and how COVID was handled. But it doesn't even end there, because how people can get behind Candace Owens is absolutely beyond me. Here's just from not too long ago. This is from June 5th, so about a month ago. The older I get, the more absurd the concept of dinosaurs roamed the earth until a great big meteor hit becomes to me. Candace, where is your... I would not normally do some sort of appeal to authority. I would not say that she has to have some sort of credentialism, that she has to have a background, but in whatever studies or science it is to have a valid opinion on it. I think that appeals to authority or appeals to credentialism are absolutely absurd 9 times out of 10. But in this instance, Candace Owens has displayed nothing, absolutely zero evidence to support that this is a valid mental state, a valid opinion to get behind. Why should we listen to you? What expertise of any sort do you have on the matter? Or is this just a retarded tweet? And then, readers out of context, Candace Owens is promoting views that deny scientific consensus on the extinction of dinosaurs and theory of evolution. Now, scientific consensus is not fact. We still do not actually know why the dinosaurs went extinct. I feel like that is very important to know. However, that is the most agreed upon theory that we have as of yet. The overwhelming majority of scientists agree that dinosaurs went extinct around 66 million years ago. But then me and my boy Atreus. Now, I love Atreus to death. He and I argue over this. Not even really argue. He loves Candace Owens. You know what? That's fair. Candace Owens done a lot of red pill moments for a lot of black folks to move to the proper side of the aisle, the proper side of the political movement, and I will always support that she has done that. But that does not mean that we don't need this woman to shut the hell up and stay in her goddamn lane, because Atreus says this is one of my worst takes ever. I said, bruh, Candace is a clown who occasionally makes good points. That is my belief. He says, a clown based on what? Here are some other things that Candace Owens has done besides the above statement about dinosaurs not roaming the earth, besides calling science a pagan religion. She has also said one of the biggest mispermeated is that prohibition was a failure in America. No, it was actually a tremendous success. You just learned about it in school wrong. If it was such a tremendous success, why did it give rise to organized crime? Why did it give rise to a black market for alcohol? Why is it the only constitutional amendment, the constitutional amendment we have to ban alcohol, the only amendment we have where we create a second amendment to remove, to repeal, to get rid of and make null and void the previous amendment? Because it was an abject failure. Candace Owens, again, is a moron. But what about that time she said we should invade Australia because of their COVID policies, and she wasn't joking? Or all the way back in the original Gamergate, because I have been on the internet well before then, but I absolutely was very heavily involved in the OG Gamergate of 2014, and she tried to start a movement/business to get rid of online anonymity. You know, that same thing that we absolutely were roasting, what's her name, the Republican presidential nominee, Nikki Haley, you know, the hawk face. We were roasting her for that. Candace Owens was saying this same stuff 10 years ago. I am absolutely baffled by the fact that there are people out there, there are individuals on the right that take Candace Owens seriously, that look at her and think, yeah, she's a voice of logic, she's a voice of reason. No, that is what we want to be looked at. I say we as if I'm lumping myself in. I'm not a conservative, absolutely hardcore libertarian, but that doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, as it currently stands in our current political climate, I do find myself agreeing with the conservative side of at least culture-based arguments far more than the left. So yeah, I will say we in this instance, we are trying to tout ourselves as the party of logic, as the party of common sense. And then when you have got individuals like Candace Owens, individuals that speak to probably millions upon millions of people and get no pushback from their own side for this absolute nonsense, and you wonder, hey, why are people still voting for Biden? Or if they swap Biden out, why are they still going to vote for Newsom? It's because folks can't take conservatives seriously in the slightest when these are their figureheads. And again, I get it. A lot of conservatives, they make the joke, oh, the left lives in an echo chamber. They don't like they don't like when the right calls them out. Well, yeah, that's accurate. But you guys are going to do the same thing to this. I guarantee my comments are going to be inundated with people, just lambasting me, throwing shade at me. Again, anytime I make a political video, I lose subscribers. It is what it is. It happens. It's all right. The fact of the matter is, if you want to be looked at as the party that actually does lean on common sense, that does lean on following logic, and that is open to the idea of not being an echo chamber and being able to take in different opinions than yourselves and having an actual diversity of thought, then maybe you should give this video a listen and be like, you know what? Good point, Leon. Or you know what? I disagree, Leon, but I'm glad you decided to have a dissenting opinion, and I'm not going to hold it against you because unlike the left, we're not an echo chamber. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X where you can find me at Both the Word. And please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about like hard nerd stuff like science, mostly anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 70 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow further because we do care about diversity, but only one kind of diversity of thought. So if that sounds interesting to you, join the Discord, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.